The Paul Leslie Hour, helping people tell their stories. And now, your host, Paul Leslie.
Hey, it's me. Hi and welcome. I'm pleased to have you with us here on the Paul Leslie Hour. Lately, we've been exploring a series of recorded interviews that broadcast on the radio 10 years ago. Back then, we called the series The Magic of the Music, the Birth of a Parrot Head Nation. For the uninitiated, a Parrot Head is a Jimmy Buffett fan. In this series that broadcast back then, we explored the formation of the very first Parrot Head Club. They are still in existence, quite active I might add, and called the Atlanta Parrot Head Club. They're coming up on 30 years in existence. So I'm presenting this interview I did 10 years ago with a woman who has sadly passed away. Ann Gotthelf, or as many called her, Mother Parrot, was by all accounts a wonderful lady. Very kind. I think you're going to enjoy listening to what she had to say. So what inspired me to bring this interview out now, along with these other ones? Well, the Atlanta Parrot Head Club is, as I said, celebrating 30 years since their founding. They're having big festivities, musical performances, of course the beverages and food you might expect. It's all going to be at Margaritaville at Lanier Islands, July 12th through the 14th. They're going to be celebrating 30 years of boats, peaches, bars, and ballads. Whoever came up with that, very clever. If you want more information, it's atlantaparrotheadclub.org if you are so inclined. So here is the interview with Ann Gotthelf. She was a true Jimmy Buffett fan. I can recall in years past exploring around in Athens, Georgia, one of my old haunts. There's a restaurant, it's still there, and Jimmy Buffett mentioned it in his autobiography, A Pirate Looks at 50. Before his massive fame and fortune, Jimmy Buffett performed at this place called The Last Resort Grill. Many great artists have performed there through the years, John Prine, Doc Watson. Well, Ann Gotthelf was one of the few who witnessed a Jimmy Buffett concert in those days. Like I said, she was a true fan. I hope you all enjoy the interview. Let me know what you think. You're listening to The Magic of the Music, the Birth of a Parrot Head Nation, here on the Time After Island Time show. We're going to bring out our first guest, Ann Gotthelf, or as she is known in the Atlanta Parrot Head Club, Mother Parrot. She has been a fan of Jimmy Buffett since seeing him in 1972 at the Last Resort in Athens, Georgia. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, and thank you for your patience.
You're certainly welcome.
I think most stories are best from the beginning. Where are you from originally?
Atlanta.
Atlanta your whole life?
Yes.
And have you always been a music fan?
Yes.
What types of music did you listen to?
Through college, I listened to hard rock and Jimmy Buffett.
And what was it about Jimmy Buffett's music that you liked?
I believe it was the escapism part.
Were there any Jimmy Buffett songs that were in particular favorites of yours?
It's hard to tell at this point. I first heard Jimmy Buffett in Athens, Georgia at a bar called The Last Resort. And as you walked in, there was a tombstone as you came in the doorway. And Jimmy was playing in the corner of this bar on a stage that barely held Jimmy and his guitar. And that was my first encounter with Jimmy Buffett, and I bought his albums at that time and on to 8-tracks and cassettes and now CDs.
And the Last Resort bar is still there in Athens, Georgia, and he even mentions that bar in his autobiography, A Pirate Looks at 50. Do you remember about what year that was?
72.
Wow, that is a true fan. That's way back in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, back in the very beginning.
What did you think about him as a performer?
At that point in time, I just thought that he was a lot of fun.
Certainly. And how did you discover the members of the Atlanta Parrot Head Club?
I had been going for 2 years with my friends that owned Aunt Charlie's Bar and Restaurant in Buckhead, and that would be 87 and 88. And then in 89, a friend of mine read about the Atlanta Parrot Head Club and Creative Loafing, and she said, maybe you want to attend this. So I attended my first meeting, and as I recall, Scott was there, Robert Nephew, Bob Shepard, and possibly Brad Rogers. But there were only 5, 6, 7 of us there in the very beginning.
Since you've been in the Atlanta Parrot Head Club from the beginning, is there a member of the club that stands out in your mind as a particularly good friend?
Oh, I have quite a few. I've made exceptional friends within the Parrot Head Club. And we've gone through members of our group getting married to each other. We've had quite a few weddings. It's just a great group and a lot of fun, and we do a whole lot of community service.
Why do you think it is the Atlanta Parrot Head Club has survived through all these years?
The fun, the dedication of the members, and all pulling together for community service.
You know, it's interesting because there's so many different places that have a hotbed of Buffett fans, but it happened in Atlanta, Georgia, the first club. Why do you think that this happened in Atlanta? Why do you think the first Parrot Head Club ended up being in Atlanta, Georgia?
Because of Scott Nickerson's founding of it, which eventually went into the fact that we now have 200-something clubs and 20-something thousand members. It all started with Scott Nickerson here in Atlanta, and the more people joined, it just got larger and larger, and we did more community service, and we had more fun, and it's just progressed.
When you look back through the Atlanta Parrot Head Club history, is there a moment that you're more proud of?
From the beginning, when Scott left town, he handed me the checkbook, which had $200, and said, the club is yours. And so I've worked with them ever since then. I think my proudest moment was this past fall when we donated $38,000 to the 2-day breast cancer walk.
Wow.
After starting with 200.
Wow, that is amazing. Some people may disagree, but I would say that at one point, Jimmy Buffett may retire. Actually, sometimes I wonder if maybe he just will keep on going and going. But what do you think is going to happen to the Atlanta Parrot Head Club once he does retire, if he does?
I think we'll still go on and do the good things we have done through all these past years. And my personal opinion is Jimmy will never give it up.
Is there any particular reason that you think that?
Because I think he loves the crowds too much and the thrill of doing his performances. He just loves people too much to ever give it up, I think. He may slow down, but I doubt he's ever going to give it up.
I think I agree with you on that point. On April the 4th, at Wild Bill's in Duluth, Georgia, there's going to be the 20th anniversary of the Atlanta Parrot Head Club. You could tell everybody about that. I take it you'll be at that event.
Of course.
Tell us a little bit about it. I assume you're excited about it.
Yes, very. For us to have existed for 20 years and done all the work that we have done, I think is just amazing and wonderful. And we are having our 20th anniversary at Wild Bill's on April the 4th. We've got people coming in from all over the country. We've got folks from L.A., Illinois, Maryland, Florida, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and, of course, Georgia. We're really excited to have all these people come in to join us for our special 20th year anniversary. It's going to be a major wing ding. We've got 4 bands playing. We've got giveaway prizes. We've got specials from different suppliers, obviously from Wild Bill's. It's just going to be a jam-bang-up party.
Absolutely, and everybody there will have to say hello to our special guest, Mother Parrot. Thank you very, very much for giving us this interview. It's a pleasure to speak to you. I have one final question.
Certainly.
This broadcast is going out all over the world. So my last question to you is, what do you want to say to all the people out there that are listening into this?
Well, I hope you're wonderful Jimmy Buffett fans. I hope you appreciate his music as well as we do. I hope you enjoy the associations and also doing the community service that all the clubs do.
Very well spoken. Thank you very, very much.
You are certainly welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Boo-bop-a-ree, boo-bop-a-shy, a-gee-na-pa-tee-la-la-ka-zee-ka-ba-boo, to-get-con, dig-it-ba-ta-go-leggy, ah-yeah, na-ka-shee-da-ba-ya-ga-ka-suddenly-walk-chee-chee-ga-long, take on some cat-top-doodly-ba-dee-ka-ba-tee-chee-chee-ka-mong, goodbye.